ranging from top 10 Switch games
to top 10 Wii games and now top 10 DS games. In today's video, we're moving on to yet another iconic handheld console,
the 3DS. So hey guys, Matt
and Tom from Nintendo Streamers here.
And with that said, today we'll be counting down
the top 10 3DS games. Kicking off the list at number 10, we have Shovel Knight. In this game, there are two knights, a male and a female, that are separated by an evil force, and the male must rescue the female. Shovel Knight pays homage to the classic games that we saw on the NES, and that is very clear with the simple aesthetics, such as the visual design and the music. Some other cool features include cameos from classic NES games. The knights who serve as bosses borrow heavily from the robot masters from the Mega Man series, complete with their own quirks that dictate not only their attacks, but the traps that populate their stages. Towns that you can visit could have also been pulled out from Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, and you'd be forgiven for mistaking your Pogo's hack for Scrooge McDuck from DuckTales. Rather than relying on pleasant memories from a simpler time, Shovel Knight is fun because its many components are well realised. Take the content as an example. It's precision based because knockbacks are so prevalent. Not only can enemies shove you into bottomless pits with a timed attack, but striking enemies with your shovel also nudges you into the void. No matter which era it had been released in, Shovel Knight would have been embraced. It is a good reminder that game design does not age, but never dies, as the simple mechanics can still be satisfying. However, it still only ranks number 10 in our list. At number 9 is Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo 3DS. You guys know my love for the Smash Bros. Series, but I've never really spoken about the 3DS version before. During the 3DS and Wii U era, Nintendo would often release games for both consoles, which was kind of pointless if you ask me, as the Wii U games were often superior as they simply had more storage to work with, and that's a problem that I have with this game. Now don't get me wrong, it's still a good game and it's really fun to play, but compared to other games in the series, it's really weak. Classic mode was changed for this game. Instead of just 10 rounds of fighting, you were given a choice of 3 paths to choose from, so you have the option of which character you fight next. You can also choose what intensity you start at, and the intensity increases as the mode progresses. Even though this is a really nice change, it can still get boring quite quickly. The music is very good as usual, and the character additions are interesting to say the least, but they made the game feel even more exciting. The graphics look good too, but it does feel limited by the capabilities of the 3DS, especially when compared to the Wii U version. The gameplay is really good and definitely has an innovative twist on usual fighting games, but it doesn't take any huge steps from Brawl, but if it's not broken, then don't fix it. Overall, this game is good, but there are better ones out there on the 3DS. At number 8, we have Yoshi's Woolly World. Similar to the previous games, Yoshi's Woolly World was released on both the 3DS and the Wii U, and the Wii U version was definitely better, but this one's still a decent little game. All 48 stages from the Wii U return here, and the 3DS adds extras, including special Poochie levels, and an updated version of the original's easier mellow mode. The standard levels still play well, and a lack of a level timer or lives to lose makes more sense on 3DS. Though some of the platforming may seem basic for veterans, there are levels that really stand out, like an early Egypt-themed level that expands puzzle solving beyond collectibles and into the platforming. But Woolly World also has its fair share of levels that don't require quick configuring or much work at all. Woolly World isn't boring though, thanks to its relaxed pace and charm. It's a good source of laid-back fun in the midst of intense stress, and its lovingly executed yawn theme is just adorable. I mean, just look at those yawn Yoshis, they are just the best things. There's something delightful about the yawn Yoshi as well, eating a yawn enemy and turning it into a yawn projectile. And even though quite a few levels are a breeze, there's at least something cute to zero in on. It can either be almost frustratingly hard for a determined collector, or a good fit for someone who's just looking for a fun, relaxing few hours of platforming. Holy Moly, are you kidding me? Mario Kart 7 at number 7? What kind of magic is this? Yeah, we just rehashed the Mario Party 7 segment from top 10 Mario Party games. But honestly, what are you going to do about it? Mario Kart 7 added some new features which have since remained in the series. one of those being the KART customization feature, which just balanced out the races, but that's not really popular amongst those fans who enjoy Mario Kart Wii, including myself. They also added gliders, so you can soar through the sky, and water turbines, so you can actually race underwater without even going out of bounds or slowing down, which are really neat features. Mario Kart 7 is one of those best looking 3DS games, and in my opinion it takes 3D to a whole new level. The controls are quite easy too. Using a circle pad was a lot easier than I thought it would be. The Grand Prix is the same as normal, and unlocking characters in this game takes some challenge, which I appreciate, but the time trials is pointless, which is a huge shame. Also, there's no single player versus mode. Once you complete the Grand Prix, there's no real reason to revisit this game, unless you're playing online with friends, which is a real shame. Overall though, this game is very solid. I think you guys can see why I told you number 7. But now guys, I'm going to take a break, as I've covered 4 games in a row, and I think Matt deserves a turn. Take it away, Matt.
At number 6 we have Animal Crossing New Leaf. This game is absolutely bursting with the lovable Nintendo charm this game series always provides. It gives newcomers a desirable experience and a doorway into the Animal Crossing franchise. The premise of the game is so simple you might be fooled into thinking there isn't much to it, but you'd be wrong. You're now the mayor, oh hell yeah, of your very own town, and from now on you will be in charge of upgrading your house, running errands for your citizens. The items for sale in your town's many shops alter every 24 hours, which gives you a good reason to check in every day that adds to the game's unique charm. Online play is implemented very well into your own experience, as you can freely hop between your friends' towns as well as allow them access to yours. There isn't a lot of interaction to be had between different villages though, which is a bit of a missed opportunity. Even after the plenty of numerous hours spent playing this game, you'll feel that you've barely scratched the surface of the game. There is so much more to build, buy and discover. The way Nintendo has structured this keeps you occupied for weeks in what is easily one of the best titles to hit the 3DS, and that's why Animal Crossing New Leaf is a must-needed addition to your 3DS roster. So now we move on to the top 5 3DS games. What will they be? Now we've moved on to the top 5. First off, this is the first mainline Pokemon game that jumped into a 3D world and environment, so there is instant praise to be awarded. The game feels very great to play and the story flows very well. These games have some of the most interesting legendary Pokemon we've had before. Personally, I picked up Y because I'm right in the head. Jokes aside, you are now able to customize your character, which is neat. Mega Evolutions were introduced as a new gimmick, and personally I think all Pokemon fans can agree they've been the best addition to be introduced. Fuck Z moves. Compared to its predecessors, the game has a better sense of balance due to the introduction of fairy-type Pokemon as a counter to the reigning OP dragon types. Online is utilised perfectly and is great for battling friends. Trading is extremely easy in this game, overall making the online experience more refined. If you ever wanted to interact with your Pokemon outside of the battle, now you can with the introduction of Pokemon Ami. I hope I said that right. You can feed them, play games with them, and etc. Hordes of Pokemon are now apparent and provide a depth of challenge when just roaming, as you have to face multiple wild Pokemon at once. This does help with shiny hunting though. Okay, I haven't even discussed all the new features these Pokemon titles provide, and I think my point is very clear. They innovated the Pokemon experience and are a worthwhile playthrough. This is a hidden gem in my eyes, and may even be worth making a video on. In gathering the poll we made, this is likely. So yes, make sure you pick up a copy of either Pokemon X and Y, and I can trust you won't regret it. With that said, it's time for number 4.
At number 4, we have Fire Emblem Awakening. Fire Emblem is a series that hasn't really done well in the West, but this game is the only exception. The plot focuses on the Chronicles of Chrom. Chrom leads a group of soldiers that live to protect the country's population and Emerald alike. When a neighbouring nation of Plaga starts invading Yssa's borders for no apparent reason, the group is thrown into the middle of a small regional combats that eventually escalate to an all-out war, infused with politics and treacherous villains, giving more than enough material for the game to present 27 chapters, featuring a lot of plot development and battles. Each chapter is structured on pretty much the same way. Combat is sandwiched between thick portions of dialogue, and a few cutscenes that move the plot forward constantly, often making the end of each one of the game's portions as some sort of cliffhanger that will lead into the next chapter. The storyline is nicely written, and even if pre or post battle conversations can be long, they remain completely engaging. When in battles, players can pair up characters or simply just put them side by side. Both of those actions will allow characters to support each one other, when attacking or being attacked by enemy forces while pairing them up, which is done by placing 2 characters on the same square. Fire Emblem Awakening is an absolute must-have for the 3DS. Its flooring depth and nearly endless content turns it into a game that offers more than just enough value for every penny that is spent on this game. However, it couldn't quite make it into our top 3. What games do you think have made it?
Making it in the top 3, we have Super Mario 3D Land. P.S. guys, if you don't know how I already feel about this, you will soon. Shh. 3D Land is an excellent spin on the classic Mario formula, as Mario has to fight through about 4 to 5 levels per world. Each level contains 3 star coins and ends by jumping onto a flagpole. There are certain levels that can only be unlocked by having a certain amount of star coins. Something about worthiness or something. Yes, the Tanuki Leaf makes its long-awaited debut again from Super Mario Bros. 3 and plays an essential part in the game. You also have the boomerang suit, which is fun to use, and of course the classic Ice, Fire and Star. So you get more than you typically would, like New Super Mario Bros. 2, ooh. These items were popular enough to make an appearance in the sequel 3D World. Following the Super Mario Galaxy format, once completing the game you'll be able to play as the beloved Luigi and play through the special worlds. Oh yes, did I forget about the special worlds? They provide a greater challenge than the main worlds, which is a good change of pace as the main playthrough is on the easier side, which is an appeal to most, and if you like a game that doesn't devour your time, 3D Land has you covered. Super Mario 3D Land is a bright, visually pleasing game with easy to follow controls, and the innovation of 3D and 2D elements is charming, and is a unique standout in the Mario franchise. The music is also great, and is soothing when playing throughout the game, so if you have a 3DS, buy this game, love for it, care for it, and you will admire what the game has to offer. We are now entering the top 2 3DS games. What will they be? Well, I guess watch to find out. At second place we have Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. As we have seen numerous times by now, the games strive to be the definitive version of their respective generation, and oh boy do they. Getting to the more minor but appreciated changes, the game feels more natural with no annoying prolonged dialogue, an easier GUI, and brighter colours that all add up to make the game feel more immersive. Totem stickers are now a thing. It is fun finding them all across the Alola region, and in return you can cash them in and get giant totem sized Pokemon for your own collection. Mantine is now rideable, and needless to say, just look how scenic wave surfing is with Mantine. Told you. You can also get points from performing tricks and also participating in mini-games. The most notable change, however, is the Ultra Recon Squad, an organisation that has arrived in Alola. Their music is really good and is a warning to when things seem off. They are quirky and they are the reason for the change in the continuity of the story, making these games stand out from the first Sun and Moon. The Ultra Recon Squad is one of the more interesting groups in the Pokemon series. The Festival Plaza added battle agency, allowing you to rent powerful Pokemon and take on opponents, similar in a way to how the Battle Factory worked in Generations 3 and 4. This allows you to battle an array of villainous teams from the whole Pokemon series, such as Team Rocket, Magma, Aqua, Plasma and Galactic. If you want nostalgia, these games have it. With the theme of the past, you can now collect a huge sum of legendary Pokemon, which is absurdly cool. These new installments of Sun and Moon are worth picking up and playing as a final send-off to Pokemon's 7th generation and its final mainline appearance on the 3DS. It was very welcome. Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon are sequels done right and deserve their place at second. However, the question is, what game has made it as the number 1 3DS game? Let's find out. Here we go again, another Zelda for a handheld, and surprise, this pretty much might be the best Zelda released on a handheld. Making a sequel to a highly influential and beloved video game is always a difficult task, but A Link Between Worlds smashed it just like how I want to smash Toad's stupid little head in. The gameplay in A Link Between Worlds features the same tight controls of A Link to the Past and all the other classic 2D Zelda games. There's no finicky camera controls like Mario 64, which if you haven't seen, check out the overrated video Tom done on it. All you need to do is run around and press the B button to swing your sword. It's simple and rather charming really. Playing A Link Between Worlds really fills you with the nostalgic feeling of playing games in your childhood, when you didn't care about internet trolls, graphic fidelity or the console wars. The dungeons themselves are all wonderfully designed. They're as good as any game in the series. They certainly resemble the dungeons in A Link to the Past aesthetically, but they are all entirely new and original, and they're all fantastic to explore. On a real note, I haven't been made to feel so stupid before this game. The puzzles are difficult, but the balance is just right to where you won't rage quit. The new mechanic in this game allows Link to turn into a painting and run along walls. Sounds dumb, right? But it's not, and this just isn't a gimmick in the slightest. It's a really huge aspect of the game, both in dungeons and in the overworld. This mechanic opened opportunities for Nintendo to create puzzles that are appealing to both the core and casual Zelda fans. A Link Between Worlds isn't just a wonderful standalone Zelda title, it is also an extremely worthy sequel to A Link to the Past, and it's easily one of the best Zelda games in recent years, and without a doubt deserves its spot at number 1. As always, this video was a blast to make, and we hope you enjoyed channeling your inner child just as much as me and Tom did, but it's time for the outro. And that wraps up another top 10 video. What do you think of our choices?
If you liked them, then be sure to hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you never miss one of our videos.
If you didn't, then feel free to leave a comment stating what you would have changed.
With that being said, we've been Tom
and Matt.